Today on the channel, we are making brandy, but in completely the wrong way. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Beaver and today we are making brandy, but with a twist. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had to make a birthday present for somebody and I decided to make him a brandy, but one of my raisin brandies, where I then took that raisin brandy and I put it into one of my little barrels over here, and that was his birthday present. So in a couple of months, he's able to decant it and enjoy his own custom-made brandy. But that got me thinking. After that distillation where I made my raisin brandy, now if you want to see how I make raisin brandy, I'll link a video in the description as well as in the card at the top here, where you can go and view a video that I made a couple of years ago where I made raisin brandy. Now, with that distillation and the end product that I got out, the white spirit, I asked myself a question. What if we take the raisins after we've done the distillation and we take a new batch of raisins and we add that into that finished product that we've distilled, the white spirit, that we've done nice cuts on and everything, then we let it ride in those raisins for a good couple of weeks. Let it absorb as much of that raisin flavor as possible, and then what we do is we take that and we filter out all the raisiny chunks, and then we take the raisins and we wash it with some water to remove as much of the spirit as we possibly can and squeeze out everything we possibly can. And then we distill that. Will that bump that dried fruit flavor, or will it just turn into a mushy mess? Well, I redid my raisin brandy using my 70-30 rule, where 30% of the sugar in the wash comes from the raisins or the fruit, and the other 70% of the sugar comes from normal table sugar. So I took the raisins, I made a 60-liter batch, I ran it through the still, making very good cuts on the white spirit. I then took the white spirit and I minced up about 5 kilograms of raisins again, and I dumped it into the spirit and I left it there for a good couple of weeks, stirring it occasionally. And what was left over was a syrupy, like a thick syrupy mix. Okay, I'm gonna pour a little bit in here for you to see. So as you can see there, what was left is this beautiful amber colored raisin flavored filled spirit. Now this smells exactly like a fortified wine on the nose. You get the dried fruit and all of that, but it is sweet, it is sticky, and we've extracted as much as possible of that raisin flavor out of it. So this is currently sitting at about 60% ABV because we added it in there. Unable to taste it because of the sugar content right now. And then we washed the raisins, squeezed everything out, and we were left with about 15 liters of product that we can run. Now the first batch has been run through the still. Here is the result of the first run, and now I want you guys to join me on doing the second run. So let's quickly get the still up and running, and then I'll check back with you guys when we have our first strips, as well as at the end when we do a taste test. So yeah, stick around. Okay, so we are now into the hearts part of the run. Right over here, you can see we are busy collecting hearts. Now, we did take a very small, tiny little heads cut out of the run. The reason being is we already did very good cuts when we did the initial spirit. So we do not need to do a heads to hearts cut, very clean heart transition. I just tasted up until the funkiness went away. Once the funkiness went away, I switched over directly to hearts because I know now we have a very clean product that we're running. We only want that nice, robust, dried fruit flavor to carry over. So yeah, I'll see you guys at the end of the run. And if there's anything interesting happening during the run, I'll let you guys know. But see you guys in a couple of hours. The run is all said and done. Here's the fruit of our labor. We ended up with just a little bit less, about 2.8 liters, just a little bit less than 3 liters of product. First observation, we lost quite a bit of product. We did bump the ABV, and that reminds me, I did not say this when I started the distillation. Never put anything into the still higher than 40% ABV. Always bring the ABV down. I know the product that went into the raisins was at about 60-65% ABV, but I did rinse the raisins to get as much as possible of that alcohol out, and I used that rinsing water that I squeezed out of the raisins, and that brought my ABV down to below 40%. So please don't ever distill anything above 40% in your still. Always bring it below 40%, because you do not want something that's extremely flammable to heat up, and then you might just cause yourself a bit of harm. So yeah, I forgot to mention that before. But observation number one, we lost quite a bit of product. We did, however, increase the ABV. The original ABV when we distilled the product, when we had about 5 liters of product, was about 65% ABV. Good, clean cuts. Now, because we put a higher ABV product into the still, we got a higher ABV product out, ending at about 80% ABV. So this here is 2.8 liters at about 80% ABV, and we lost about 2 liters, 2.2 liters of product. I was expecting to lose about 700, maybe 800 mils a liter at the max, but we lost a lot more. So yeah, observation number one. But this is where the big but comes in. If it actually makes a better product that has more of the characteristics that we are looking for when it comes to making the brandy, then that loss might just make up in the flavor department. So let's quickly give it a taste and see if the proof is in the pudding. Now, I'm not going to taste it straight up like this. 80% is going to blow out my palate. Just want to smell what it smells like at that high ABV. And that smells like a packet of raisins. When you open up raisins, that sickly sweet, dried fruit, overripe fruit. Definitely smells like we have a product that has a ton more flavor than the original. Now I just want to bring it down to a more manageable ABV. See if it's going to loosh a little bit. Doesn't look like there's a lot of oils in it. That's another concern I had. Maybe if I reduce the ABV when I proof it down, we might end up with a cloudy product, but still looks less crystal clear. Okay, so once we add the water, yeah, this now exactly smells like when I was grinding up the raisins. My hands, everything smelled like that overripe fruit, sun-dried, sticky, sweet flavor. Let's give it a taste. Wow. Now that tastes like raisins. Doesn't just smell like raisins, it tastes like raisin. It even finishes with that sickly sweet, overripe fruit flavor. And that, wow, the loss in product and the increase in flavor, I'll sacrifice that any day of the week. I definitely want to try this with other fruit where I struggle to pull the flavor over, things like apples and those things. Maybe this is a good experiment. If you want to see that, put it down in the comment section and we'll see if we can do another video where we make the brandy with the 70-30 rule, and then we add fresh fruit into our finished distilled product, let it macerate, filter everything out, and then we run it through the still again. Maybe this is the secret weapon we have when we make a brandy, because this brandy is now going to be proved down to 60% ABV, and it's going to go into one of our mini barrels, and it's going to stay there for a good couple of months. And this is going to be in one of the barrels that I use quite frequently, so most of the tannins have been pulled out, so I can actually leave it in the barrel for quite a bit of time. Well, if you stuck around this far, thank you very much for watching, and have a lekker day.